Hello, my name is Rocio, and this is my inquiry project presentation. So I chose fourth grade math with a focus on fractions. And the reason for this is that I struggled with them for the longest time. So I thought it would be really interesting to research ways that can help facilitate this type of learning because I read that this can be the hardest subject for students to master. Um, and I don't want my students to struggle like I did. So I thought that it would really be worth looking into. And yeah, that's why I chose this. And these essential questions I think would benefit most students most if they're asked at the end of the unit. And that's because I can assess um their understanding to see where they're at, to see what things are still being misunderstood or just not grasped to the fullest potential. And they're really set out to help them think about what they learn and to make those real world connections. Here we have articles, videos, and books that I chose. The first two are recipes, and they talk about the importance of measurements and how fractions play a role. And I thought they were really fun. I think these would be worth replicating in the classroom, like actually making a snack. In the videos, I really wanted to find ones that were short because I personally not off if they're more than like 10 minutes long. And the books, I really loved the first one because basically the reader, you are interacting with an alien and he's trying to explain to you how to view math differently and so that it doesn't feel like this big dreadful thing that you're forced to do. It presents math in an interesting way that you may have otherwise never thought of. And I feel like this allows really apprehensive students who struggle with math or or if math is not their favorite subject to kind of feel represented in this book. So I really thought that that was an interesting take. And then the rest of the books are more practical, but there's also not a lot of jargon. Like, yes, there's vocabulary terms, but they're explained in a very condensed and easy to follow way, and they're very engaging. I personally would not mind reading these books if I was like a student. And then these are the instructions for the activity that I planned. It allows for a lot of creative liberty, especially since kids are working collaboratively. They don't have to feel overwhelmed with the math that they're having to think of and demonstrate in their scenario. Since they have their buddies that they can check in with any kind of questions that they have, and yeah, they can choose addition, subtraction, or comparison, and there to create a real world problem where fractions are involved. And they have to do a little rough draft, and this is all going to be done in Google Slides. And up next is my example. My story is called Party Trouble, and I begin with a character and really just setting the scene about what the scenario is. And in this case, it's a birthday party. And then here, really just more information to supplement the storytelling, so that the students can see themselves in this scenario because this is not fiction, it's real life. This can actually happen. And here's where the math begins because the cakes are cut into 12 equal slices and the 20 people there each get one slice. And then this would be the rising action because more guests are arriving, and this is really, well, the turning point, I should say. And here we have Lily. She is conflicted because she has more guests and she's not sure she's going to have enough cake for them. And she doesn't want anyone to feel left out. So she takes it upon herself to come up with a solution. And here it's a little wordy, but I don't think it's hard to follow. Like if I was presenting this to students, and basically Lily is able to figure out that 12 over 12 is equal to one entire cake. And this sets the foundation for her to figure out in the next slide that in total she cut out 1 and 8/12 of the cake from her birthday party, and she uses this information to perform subtraction from she's able to subtract what she cut from the whole chocolate cake to figure out that there are four remaining slices and that she will indeed have one slice, one equal slice for her four extra guests. And then here's the ending, everyone's happy, there's gifts, everyone got a cake, everyone is fed. It's a lovely little story that I think students would really benefit from, like it to see it as an example and to have something to refer to whenever they're creating their own story. And yeah, I learned a lot from this research project. It was a lot of research to do, but in the end, it was very beneficial to me and to my future students because it allows me to see what additional steps I can take in order to meet state standards so that their understanding is where it should be. This can be done. Really, the main thing is the reiteration of important vocabulary. And in this case, it's numerators and denominators because, if you don't understand this, then you're going to have the hardest time with fractions because that's basically what they're all about. So, um, being able to present that information repeatedly, whether it be with activities, videos, articles, the nonfiction books, it's going to really help build a strong foundation and it's going to allow kids to have something to refer back to whenever they start struggling with a certain problem, and it will just really allow them to form a deeper understanding about what they're learning about instead of it just being, in one ear and out the other. It actually allows them to make and benefit from those connections that they're forming. And this is so important to do with the research. I had to constantly refer back to the state standards every so often. Now we kind of steer away from them. So it's important to go back and have something concrete to focus on because um if not, then the specific requirements are not going to be met. And not only that, but students are not going to be able to learn from you if you don't have the if you don't have enough evidence to support their learning. And this is very, very detrimental. It's like a domino effect because if they're not able to understand the math that they're learning in fourth grade, then this is gonna hold them back and they're gonna have a hard time in middle school and high school. And yeah, um, doing research, being prepared is what I learned through for this research project. And yeah, it was it was hard, but very worth it. Thank you for watching my presentation.